Hello YouTube fans, here again. As I did the third American Ninja starring David Bradley, why not this one with both of them, Mark Getoff and David Bradley, together in American Ninja 4. That's right, American Ninja 4. It's not a bad one. Starts off with a bit of music, and you've got some soldiers running, and they've got some ninjas chasing them. They almost get away, but guess what? They don't get very far, as the ninjas have got them. It's not a bad one, as they go. It's not a bad one, and I've got to admit, this one is one of the most violent ones out of the American Ninja films. Again, you got David Bradley that gets sent out on a mission, and he has a different partner with him. As we all know, Steve James sadly passed away. I think during the time when they was filming this, or he was down to cancer at the time. It's one of the reasons why he wasn't in it. But it's still not a bad one. You got one guy that goes with them, and they get sent on a mission once again to deal with this guy. Now I've got to admit, the main villain in it is the main villain, what makes you love to hate him. He really is the epitome of evil. And I know he's been in a film before where he's played a bad guy, but he really is a complete and utter scumbag. Because what he does to the American soldiers, if he doesn't get his ransom or his dough, he burns them alive. Not making this up, he burns soldiers alive. So he definitely is a guy you'd love to fucking hate. So David Bradley and his mate meet up with this woman. Very nice to look at. She works in a mall and everything. And he's sort of like mercenaries. You've got one kid in it who I find is like annoying. That's how like a South American. And he gets a bit annoying compared to the kid what was in American Ninja 2. This one I thought was a bit annoying. Long but old, him, the Dur and the Die get tattooed by the main villain. There's a bit in it where he's in the pub and he goes in and he kills everybody who's running this fucking pub, but they get caught anyway. There's this where Martin Getoff comes into it. And he gets sent on a mission. And I've got to admit that I find this bit laughable because the guy sends our mate, because for some reason now, Martin Getoff, that's it, David Getoff, from 1 and 2, for some reason he's now a stew teacher. I'm making this up. He's a stew teacher. So you've got the eye up one, right? Sends him out to rescue his mate. And I love the line where he says, I told you last time was the last time. Kind of makes me laugh. But he gets sent out anyway because it's his mate and he goes to look for him. There's a bit in it where again it feels like a missing in action film. What I mean by that is there's a scene in it, right, where Martin Getoff has a fight with David Bradley. And I think right, he kills David Bradley, but you find it's not him. It's not him. It's actually a guy with a fake mask on. You've seen the missing in action films. He's got a fake face. Same thing here. But standards they did in American Ninja 3, they did it in this. It's also how vicious he is because David Bradley gets ripped, same as his mate, and they get ripped. So's he's like brutal, this guy. So's he's an evil bastard. Shows you that he's someone you'd love to fucking hate. And he really is someone you'd love to hate. So he's someone you'd love to hate. Like, he's got the dirt, right? And he talks dirty to her, so she spits in his face and he slaps her. So, you know what I mean? He really is the epitome of scum. He is the epitome of scum. The bit where he kills the guys, one in the bar, says like, I really, really like you. I really like you. But then he shoots the shoes off the table and hangs the poor guy. So he really isn't a nice person, the guy in this. You really would love to see him get his trumpets. But it's like good actually. Martin Getoff at first feels a bit slow and weak at the part, but then as soon as he gets back into it, it's like he's never left the role. It's like he's never left it. The only bit some issue is I just love to see the guy from American Ninja 4 and David Bradley. That means David Bradley, and Martin Getoff have a bit more stream time. They don't really have that much stream time. And I thought it would have been brilliant to see them more in the film. But again, he goes after to look for his mate, fights ninjas on the way, does his American Ninja, and he kicks ass. The bit in it what shows how brutal the sergeant is, he burns a soldier, burns him alive, it makes you hate the guy even more. I mean, the stuntman did a pretty good stunt there, with a burn suit and everything, and falls to his death. But then in the film, American Ninja saves his people. David Bradley has an epic fight with the main villain, kicks the shit out the main villain, and fucking kills the main villain. Pretty awesome death, considering you fucking hate the guy. The guy was the epitome of stun, and he got his world preserves. So I kind of like that idea. It's definitely a dud. Again, Martin Getoff saves the day. You do get some bikers in it before all that, where they're training up and the bikers come in and saves the day. I thought that was quite laughable. Gang of bikers who David Bradley got to be mates with. But again, they saved the day. American, as I say, Martin Getoff says, let me know. This is at the end of the film. Let me know when you want to meet. And he walks off, and it's the last you ever see of him because it's stores. A couple of years later, they did American Ninja 5. Now, the one who want me to do these, if you do like American Ninja 5, word of warning, it will have to be a rant and a review. I can watch American Ninja 5 as a time waster, but to me, this was the best one because it was like ultra firing, definitely ultra firing. Out of all the American Ninja films, this one was the finest one. Now, I do know that a lot of people ran on this and say it was shit, but I didn't really mind this one. Didn't mind it. I just felt myself, this was just my opinion, that Martin Getoff and the other guy, David Bradley, I forgot his name, I just wish that they had a bit more screen time together and did a lot more to death for, you know what I mean? Considering they was both in it for the guy from American Ninja 3 and our mate, Martin Getoff. We're in it a lot more, that's all. But apart from that, it's not a bad one. You know, it's not a bad one as to go. It's now getting into the 90s. I think it was either 1990 or 91 when they did this one. And like I say, it got more into the 90s. And it was a dud one. You know, it's a dud one. And it's just like Martin Getoff didn't leave the role. At first, he's a bit rusty. He didn't want to go on this mission because he knew it was his mate. He did it. He did it. It kind of reminds me of Brackido in many ways. He didn't want to go on his mission, but then he has no option but to do it. And in this, you could say, has a similarity. Goes out, saves his mate, walks off, then doesn't fight another day because in the fifth one, Martin Getoff ain't in it, but David Bradley is. Like I said, the fifth one, I do have issues, but I could watch it probably as a time waster, but to me I just felt like the fifth one was more of a kids friendly film, where this one on the other hand was definitely not a kids friendly film. It's definitely fine. The villain you love to hate. I do admit the villain in this was more stimulating than the villain in the third one. I will give it its due on that. I do admit that the villain in this one, the fourth one, is more stimulating than what he is in the other one. The ninjas definitely don't fuck about. In this one and all, they do have a lot more ninjas. Fucking hell, the amount of ninjas in this. But the other ninjas in 1, 2 and 3, the same amount of ninjas in this. Like I say, there's a bit in it where they're testing the ninjas like they did in 1 and 2. Maybe a little bit of the third one. And there's a funny bit where one of them falls, cuts himself, and the guy says, you can see that they do have mercy and they don't so fear and they have honour. And the bad guy says to the other guy, you know, you're full of shit, you, aren't you? The bit in it where he's got a bomb and he says, I'm not afraid to die, and then the villain's shitting himself, but he changes his mind. It's supposed to be dog, it's getting on my nerves. Changes its mind and shits the villain up, but he gets killed. The main villain again, like I say, gets the ultimate death. He gets the shit kicked out of him. Other than all, American Ninja 4, it's not a bad one. And for that, an 8-star rating. But it's still not a bad one to the other ones. So that's American Ninja 4. Into then, I'll see you soon.